So, Shannon, if you were either of the defensive coordinators, what would you do this time around?
Well, I try to mix it up, Skip. I've always felt that the team that lost had the decided advantage because we lost. The team that won, like, okay, we had a perfect game plan. We won. Threw for 462 yards. We blitzed Tom. We picked him off. We sacked him a couple of times. What do we need to change? But the team that lost is preparing for you to do the exact same thing that you did. So I think they're going to try to feel it out first. They know they've got to get Tom Brady off his spot. Tom Brady not sacked is a recipe for Tom Brady's 7th Super Bowl win. Yep. Tom Brady under duress, Tom Brady gets, even if you don't sack him, Skip, you got to move him off that spot. And if you can move him off that spot, you can have success. Teams don't blitz Mahomes because I'm not willing to sacrifice my back end with Tyreek and Mecole Hardman running by me. They've always got some running deep. Now, it's looking like they're going to have Sammy Watkins back. Sammy Watkins didn't have that breakout season that we know he's capable of, but he's capable of throwing a 100-yard game on you. He can have a big game. Now you bring Watkins back into the equation to put in with Tyreek, to put in with Hardman and Kelsey. I don't know if you really want to blitz Mahomes because his quarterback rating is damn near perfect when you blitz him.
Yep.
So, plus Tampa saw something in Green Bay. They're playing with backup linemen, the Chiefs. We got to Rodgers with just 4.
5 times.
And we didn't have to sacrifice our back end. I don't believe they blitz him this time either, Skip. I believe they believe JPP and Shaq Barrett can get home and we don't have to sacrifice our back end. Because if we can get home with 4 without having to sacrifice our back end, it's going to be smooth sailing.
Okay. So I must tell you, when I read these numbers last night, my jaw dropped. I had no idea that Kansas City, under Coach Spags, had gone after Tom Brady 48% of the snaps. It's way more than they usually do. It didn't,
especially early. That's
what I'm saying. It didn't sort of focus in my brain that was happening. But then I start to think back, yeah, they were coming after him all day long.
They brought Honey Badger a lot.
A lot. And conversely, Tampa blitzed 42% of the time through the regular season, and that day only 17%. Okay, so I'll start with Todd Bowles. High regard for him. Top 5 defensive coordinator. Deserves another head coaching job. That 17%, that may be high for what I would do. I don't even know if I'd do that at all. I think I would just play it straight. Play it as straight as I can. See how the game goes.
Right, especially if I can get home with 4?
Yeah.
Why would
see if early on I can create a little havoc with 4. If I can move him a little bit, if I can hit him a couple of times early with just 4, then I'm going to stay put because the 2 inside backers can fly. They're both really good blitzers, especially Devin White. He may be their best pass rusher, just pure pass rusher. But he can also, as we saw against Drew Brees, he can drop and cover. He can run with anybody.
And what they try to do, Skip, they always try, what they're trying to do with him is that they're trying to cover up your lineman and try to get him on a running back because he's just going to run slap over it. He's not swimming. He's not dodging. He's putting his shoulder in your chest, and he's Mack trucking you, and he's getting to your quarterback.
So, to me, Tampa has to stay with that blueprint of just back off. Let's do, we need to double Kelsey, and we need to double Tyreek, and then we just hope for the best with the rest of them. If Sammy gets 100, tip your cap, right? But flipping around the other way, Tom Brady is 43 years of age. As we always say, it's a quick duck and cover. If he sees it before you see it. If you got him on a play, if you corner blitz him and nobody sees it and the back's going the other way and he's unprotected, he just lives to play another play, right? He just folds up and drops. Okay, so why wouldn't you do that even more? At 48%, and to demonstrate what I'm talking about, he did throw 2 picks in the 3rd quarter against Kansas City.
He did.
Back in November 29th. If we could see these 2 picks that he threw, what happened on these 2? First one, guess who just hit him right in the mouth? Honey Badger just hit him right in the mouth, and he underthrew a little bit to Scotty Miller, who might have had a step.
But you see, the thing is, Scotty Miller wouldn't did it. Scotty Miller free release. They jammed him at the line. They look at Breland in his jock. So you got a speed guy. You got to jam him.
But look who's
Honey Badger.
Honey Badger got home.
But you see what they did, Skip? They do something that very few teams are willing to do to Brady.
Now
They blitzed him in
the
his
other one
face.
real quick. This is Sorensen. The safety is coming on this play. I don't know what he does. He decides either I can't get there and I back off, or he was trying to fake him out.
Yeah, he faked him out because he knew the tackle would block down. And so that let Clark go scot-free.
So the throw hits the safety right in the helmet and bounces into an untimely interception.
If you watch the Honey Badger play, Skip, they do something that very few teams will do to Tom Brady. They brought the blitz in his face because a lot of people don't want you to see the blitz. But what I believe Spags was trying to do, I don't want him to escape to his dominant arm. So if he escapes, I want him to roll left and see if he can open his hips and throw his body. I don't want him to roll right to his dominant hand and be able to throw off and throw play.
Well, obviously, Honey Badger came into his right side.
Right. And so very few people want the, that's why they say the blind side. You bring the blitz from the blind side, get hit in the back. But Tom Brady, they brought it to his face because they want him to move the opposite way, away from his dominant hand.
Obviously, when Tom has struggled the most is when he's got pressure up in his face. Sometimes it can come because the pocket gets pushed. But over his career, we've seen Denver push the pocket in the AFC Championship game. We saw back to the Strahan Giants just push the pocket like crazy right up in his face. It's hard on him. He's not mobile. We know that. Okay, he doesn't have escapability. We saw a couple times, if you let him out the window, he will jump out the window to the right. We saw a couple times this year where rolling to his right, he's still not bad.
Made some great throws. He threw one to AB, he threw a couple of,
And he threw one to LaShawn McCoy. Remember that?
He dropped it against Carolina.
Okay. So the point is, they're going to come after him, and it's up to Leonard Fournette to have as good a day blitz pickup as he does carrying the football, or Ronald Jones, whoever in the game, because you have to pick it up. You have to get one of them, or he's done. And
plus, Skip, I just think the thing is that the Chiefs are going to find out, because they're preparing for Spags to bring pressure again. So that's why when you lose, Skip, you have the advantage because they won by blitzing him. Tom Brady and the offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians, they're like, look, they're probably going to do that recipe again because it worked out well for them. So here's going to be our counter. Maybe they shorten the routes. Maybe, okay, the hot route's coming right here. Maybe Tom missed a few hot throws that he won't miss this time.
I would agree.
So I just think the thing this time, let's see if we can, if Chris Jones, let's see if Frank Clark, let's see if we can get home with 4. And if we don't have success, now we got to heat him up. But I wouldn't start off doing what I did last time because you've lost the element of surprise because you've done it before.
Okay, I will say this to Brady's credit. The last 3 quarters of that game, he threw for 313 yards. They did not have the ball that much because it was 37 minutes for Mahomes to 23 for Tom. But he threw for 313, and he had 2 long fourth-quarter drives that did get them back within striking distance at 27-24.
Well, the biggest key, Skip, blitz, no blitz, is that red zone. Whose defense plays the best in the red zone? Because you're going to have to make somebody settle for field goals, and you're going to have to, it's going to be imperative that if you get off the field on 3rd down. Somebody goes 50% on 3rd down, you're asking for trouble. Either team, Brady or Mahomes goes 50% on 3rd down, the opposing team's probably going to lose the game.
So in the end, it's shocking to me, both defenses played completely out of character against a Brady and a Mahomes. So they flipped the script on each other. And I think that script will stay flipped in this game.
You think so? Well, just what I know. I know Murphy Bunting and I know Carlton Davis hadn't gotten any faster. And I know Tyreek hadn't gotten any slower. So whatever you did last time, I wouldn't advise you to do that.
Okay, I will bet you this.
What?
I would even bet a case of dew on this.
That he'll get 203.
That he doesn't get 203 in the first quarter. Will you give me that over under?
No.
I'll take under 203 in the first quarter.
I'm going to give it, I say you get 150 in the game. You think he gets 150 in the game?
I'm not going to bet against it. I'm not.
Skip, 150 yards, that's a lot of yards.
Not for him. That seems like one play. Seems like he gets 150 a play, right?
You guys need to make more bets about this one at this point. I feel like we haven't
He's
made
trying to get some prop bets. He's trying to get the easy prop bets off me.
Yeah, something. Okay, well, maybe if we listen up to this next guest, it'll help you out. Saints All-Pro defensive end Cam Jordan joins us next to break down what to expect from Brady after, he faced him 3 times this season. Don't go anywhere. He obviously went up against them plenty this year, and it should be good to get his take. So that will be coming up later. Don't go anywhere. But first, Patrick Mahomes.